Hello my crafty peeps, it's Cheyenne from ecdesignstudios.com. Welcome to another day of my 13 days of Halloween. And today we are going to use the Stampin' Up 2x8 cellophane bags to make little treat bags. And there is so much you can put into these. Pencils, erasers, candies, treats. A lot of demonstrators have been putting the Hershey's Nuggets in after wrapping them with like a little piece of designer series paper. Yeah, I believe you can fit approximately 4 into these. But yeah, not just candy stuff. Today we are going to use what I have on hand, which is Reese's Pieces, because they tend to be in the house. And we are moving, so there is not a whole lot unpacked right now. So I gotta work with what I got. Alright, things you're gonna need. The 2x8 cellophane bag, of course, from the, I believe it's in the annual catalog, so you can get these year-round, not just from the holiday catalog. Going to need a piece of basic black. This I cut at 2x4, and from my other treat bag topper tutorial, you know it's got to be cut at the width of the bag, and then just however deep you want it to be, and I chose 2 inches for mine, just kind of randomly. Alright, we are going to be using the Jar of Haunt stamp set. We're going to use the mason jar, the plain one, a spooky treat for you to eat, and the candy corn. Let's see, you're also going to need the everyday jar framelit that coordinates with the medium-sized mason jar. Going to be coloring in our candy corn, and I want it to be kind of a pastel in the background sort of look, so I chose to use Peekaboo Peach and So Saffron. Peekaboo Peach is from the In Colors 2016 to 2018, and the So Saffron is from the Subtles collection. For ink pads, we've got Soft Sky, Smoky Slate, and Archival Basic Black. Good choices there. I mean, those are just like 3 good ones to have on hand. I've got a scrap piece of the Halloween Night Designer Series paper, just to add a little accent. Scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock, and a scrap piece of window sheet. You're also going to need a stapler of some sort. Alright, first step, let's go ahead and get our stamping done. So I'm just going to move this stuff out of the way. Alright, I'm stamping the mason jar in Soft Sky. Said it before, Soft Sky is my favorite color to stamp the mason jars, and I think it is wonderful. It's perfect for that glass effect. Yeah, I also have my Stampin' Mist and Stampin' Scrub on the side so I can clean off my stamps. It's really handy. Alright, that's it for the Soft Sky. Now we're going to get the Smoky Slate, and this is what I'm going to stamp the candy corn in. So you can see them, but they're not like there. And I'm just going to kind of stamp this along the bottom of the jar. So there we go. We're going to be coloring them in, so it's going to be alright. Let me zoom you in a little bit. Alright, so there we go. You can see it a little better. Alright, and next let's do, alright, we're going to do something a little tricky. If you have Stays On ink, then please by all means use Stays On ink. I'm going to take the basic black archival with a spooky treat for you to eat. I'm going to stamp that. Now, one of the tricks that I have heard to use regular ink on the window sheet is to ink it up pretty good, stamp it off, and then stamp it onto your window sheet. This way it's not going to be so slick, it's not going to slide around as easily. So I'm putting some good pressure on this, and then we've got our sentiment. It's not perfect, but I don't need it to be perfect in this case. I really have to invest in some Stays On. I think that would help out my life a lot, because I do like to use the window sheet and do shaker cards and everything like that. So, alright, anyway, you also have to set this aside and let it dry. So, I'm gonna pop that off to the side. Let's go ahead, bring back in our mason jar and do some coloring. Now, coloring for candy corn can be tricky sometimes. You know, is it yellow first? Is it white first? I can never remember. I'm pretty sure it's orange, yellow, white from the biggest part of the triangle in, that is. So I'm just gonna go with it because I'm not wanting to go and look it up right now. I'm pretty sure this is accurate. If not, you know what, I've seen them both ways, so don't think you can really be that wrong. Coloring, coloring. Okay, so that's all there is to that. Now we need to get our big shot out, and I'm going to zoom you back out for that. Alright, and we're going to make our little sandwich. So we need magnetic base plate. You don't have to have this, but I do highly recommend it if you're going to be working with a lot of the framelits and such. Alright, so we've got our mason jar, and we're just going to cut that out real quick. The hardest part, I think, of all of this is lining everything up correctly so it cuts out nicely. And that is also where the magnetic base plate comes in handy, because the magnet really helps to hold it in place. You're not having to get washi tape or a little piece of Post-it. So we've got that cut out. Alright, and now I want to take the sentiment, a spooky treat for you to eat, and I want to cut out a mason jar around that too. It's going to be another little layer. If you're making a lot of these and you don't want to add that second layer, you can absolutely stamp the sentiment onto the mason jar here. Just stamp it over the top. I don't know, maybe get some heat embossing in. It all depends on how much effort and time you want to put into it and you have to put into it. So, alright, there's that part. Put all of that aside, but try not to get it mixed up with everything else that's on my table. Alright, we have all that. Now with this, I just want to layer up the window sheet over the mason jar, and I'm just going to staple it together, just like that. Nothing too crazy. Well, I did not put my phone on silent mode, and that is the noise, the tone that I have from my dad texting me. The goofy yell. Kind of startled me a little bit. Alright, we're going to take our cellophane bag and pop it open. Come on, you can do this. All of these Stampin' Up cellophane bags, they are food safe. The gift boxes, all of that, food safe. So it's cool. You're not going to, like, give anyone cancer down the road. Alright. You can see now that this is going to be a comedy of errors trying to get this in. So I'm going to pause, fill this with Reese's Pieces, and then we'll come back. Okay, so wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, because of course when you turn the camera off things go much easier. So got some Reese's Pieces in the bottom, and fill this up with whatever you want. I like to fold over my edges a little bit, just a little extra security that things aren't going to go horribly wrong and leak out everywhere. So there we go. I've got my piece of 2x4 cardstock. I'm just going to pop that on. You just fold it over. Now when you staple, make sure that you're getting where it's folded over to, so you want to go through all those layers to make sure it's going to stay in. Because I have little small Reese's Pieces, I am going to put 2 staples in this, but this is a size where you could probably get away with just 1, especially if all you have in here is the nuggets, something that's already pre-wrapped. Alright, and now I'm going to take my piece of Designer Series paper. And yeah, I think I want the orange side. And I'm just going to kind of loosely fold it around and get that in. So you see it can fold completely around. Then I'm going to take snail. Some fast fuse would work on this too. I'm going to run this all around. And just kind of pop this over where the staples are. You don't have to cover the staples if you don't want. This is just what I've chosen to do today. So there we go. That's on. And now, yeah, I'm going to use a dimensional on my mason jar. Probably 2 dimensionals. So pop on 2 of those. And we'll just go ahead and attach it. Now, do you notice how well the mason jar fits with all of this? So, I mean, you can really go to town with all of your different choices. You can dry emboss your bag topper and just put on a piece of the Halloween Night DSP and call it a day. That's fine. But you've got all of these options for the mason jar. So you could stamp the a spooky treat for you to eat just right in there, call it a day. And the candy corn like we did. There's also the eyeballs, which you can stamp in. There's this little slimy bit that can come over the edge. Happy Halloween can go here. You can stamp this on a piece of pumpkin pie cardstock and cut it out, and then add the little jack-o'-lantern face to the center. So you've got a lot of different options with this mason jar for different Halloween ideas. You know, put the spooky eyes in it if you want. Take the spider, fill it up with the spiders if you so desire. You know, it's up to you. There's a lot of options with this set. So you can do a lot of different versions of this. And, you know, the Halloween Night DSP, it is double-sided, so that gives you tons of choices as well. And I am rambling now, so I'm going to go ahead and call this a done deal. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please remember to like and subscribe. There will be a full list of the products that I used and prices for them and links to my online store on the coordinating blog post on my website. That link will be in the description bar below. Be sure to check out my website. I tend to put a lot of stuff there that I don't necessarily make YouTube videos for. There's also links to my Etsy shop if you just like my style and you want to buy things that are already made. Anyway, enough shameless self-plugging. Thank you so much for watching again. Happy creating, happy crafting, and happy Halloween.